And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Been a while, been busy. Ford's been traveling. I've been busy. But now we can kind of get back to it a little bit this morning. Glad to have you along. Beautiful fall weather for right now. I'm loving it. It's going to get even better. It's going to get even better. End of the week, we're talking about, I saw one day we may not get out of the 40s, which would be just even more awesomeness, because I like awesomeness. I got no idea where this.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, there it is. It's never too soon for that. Okay. It's never.
You know, I usually don't play Christmas music this early, but I've already started doing that.
104.7.
No.
I'm talking about one of the radio stations already. Started playing.
Oh yeah.
104.7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do is I've got Sirius.
Right.
So I can get my Holly. I get my Holly.
Absolutely.
And I've, like I say, it's kind of amazing that I've already done that, because I don't normally get into the Christmas thing.
Do you not?
I mean, not this early.
Man.
Because after 3 days, you've heard them all, at least 4 times. But, I mean, there's only so many Christmas songs. It's just the same Christmas songs with different artists. And then I have to switch over. I'll switch over a little bit to holiday traditions, which is a little older.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good music. That's good.
If you got the and I'm not getting paid to do Sirius, okay, just in case you're wondering. But if you've got Sirius, they also have a couple other Christmas channels out there that you may want to get into. And those Christmas channels, like there's a 60s and 70s Christmas channel.
Oh, yeah, man.
And that kind of thing. So there's some things out there if you'd
Very
like to get into. All right, so let's get started. Not only are the Dallas Cowboys coming apart, Jerry World is coming apart, if you didn't hear that last night. Part of the roof fell in.
Oh, no.
Wasn't big, but it wasn't big, but it did. So it's one of those things when the wheels come off, the wheels come off.
The sky's falling.
Yeah. Jerry Jones, I think is going to stick with him, but I think it's over after that. I don't think there's going to be anything left for Mike McCarthy to do.
It's not Mike McCarthy.
It's not Mike McCarthy. It's here's the deal. It's Jerry, but Jerry can't take responsibility that he doesn't know what he's doing. So what do? You just keep firing people. Yeah.
Deion's got to go in there.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, and that's exactly what's happening.
A lot of insanity out there in the world.
There is. Texans beat the Cowboys last night, 34-10. It was ugly. I didn't even watch it. Didn't want to. Not a Cowboy fan. Last week, I will say, there was some really great NFL football.
Yeah.
And one of them, and it was hard for me, I'm a Steeler fan, but it was hard for me to pull away from that Packers-Bears game because it wound up Packers 2019 over the Bears.
Right.
And the Steelers, it was an ugly win, okay? It was an ugly win, and I don't think the Steelers scored – did they score a touchdown?
No.
It's all field goals.
They kicked all field goals.
Okay, 18-16. But a win is a win, and I'm the first one to say – I am absolutely amazed and stunned that the Steelers are on top of that division with only 2 losses. I predicted at the beginning of the season that the Steelers would hand Tomlin his first non-winning season, and I'm wrong. I completely admit that I'm wrong. And honestly, the reason is he's got somebody running the offense that can play it a little conservative and still be effective, and that's Russell Wilson.
Well, you don't turn the ball over a whole lot.
No, he takes care of the ball.
And the running game is such where it is viable, and he's not afraid to throw it down the field, only down a distance. And so he did
some nice dropping the basket.
Yeah, the difference is, Laney, when you do that and you have that philosophy, the defense cannot come up. They have to, your perimeter 4 or 5 have to stay back, and it was very noticeable. Now, the Ravens got some stuff they got to work on.
Yeah.
But the one thing that is becoming very apparent in the NFL is the running quarterback is not a good thing.
It is
It's just not.
About 80% it works, but the deeper you get, it doesn't work.
Well, I mean, it helps you win games.
Let me
but
put it
not
this way.
championships.
Let me put it this
You
way.
know? I mean,
here's the difference. Patrick Mahomes is different, but the reason is his ability to run and scramble is not the thrust of their offense. It's there.
it's
I'll take it back.
Of it.
Right. I'll take it back to
But
high
it's
school.
Not pretty. It's not very good either.
I'll take it back to high school.
Yeah.
If you have an offense that runs the wing T, you don't have to have an exceptional running quarterback.
Oh,
you
no.
just have to have one that they know is a threat, and that's where that's where the running quarterback or the threat of a running quarterback,
absolutely.
Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, those quarterbacks can not only throw the ball, but they make you play it honest. But they're not going to carry the team on their back, on their legs, and that's where a running quarterback they put too much on them.
No, you're 100% right. To the Super Bowl, is the whole point. And we haven't had one yet that's done that. Kaepernick was supposed to be the one that changed the dynamic. Well, if anything,
And Lamar's the other one.
Yeah, I mean, both are did well. Lamar's a great player. I think he was NFL Player of the Year or Offensive
He's
Player of the
MVP.
Year. MVP. I mean, all that's great, but the bottom line is, what are you doing to win Super Bowls versus winning games?
Right.
And I would argue with anyone that success is not winning games; it's winning championships.
Well, here's the other thing. Look at the numbers. If you go,
I don't know, man.
If you go look at the numbers, Lamar went 16 of 33, 207 yards, and only averaged 6.3. And if you look at Derrick Henry, only got 65 yards. Lamar only carried 4 times for 46 yards.
He was going to die against Pittsburgh if he carried the ball.
Right.
That was smart. He needed to. How much did he throw? Did he throw for a couple hundred, maybe?
207.
Yeah. So I mean, it was it was legitimate, and again, the Steelers are so different, Laney, in the fact of what they've got from a rush style defense that can play the run. Most edge rushers do not play the run. Pittsburgh's edge rushers play the run and get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
That is a huge difference.
Sure it is.
And that is the telltale. I think what are they? They've only lost 2 games so far, the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. 8
Is that
and 2.
right? Yeah.
8 and 2. Yep.
So I was talking to a buddy of mine that's a Steelers fan, and this weekend, Matt Neville, and he was saying, he said, "Do you think Tomlin structured this whole thing?" And I said, "What do you mean? It's a point of view I hadn't thought of." He said, "Do you think he kind of told Wilson, hey, look, we're going to keep you on IR for a couple, 3 weeks and let the Fields scenario play itself out. And we get Justin some starts in because we know that down the road we want him to be our guy. But at the same time, because Russell kind of plays the villain, if you think about it, where he's kind of like the bad guy. He's coming out of a terrible situation at Denver, right, after leaving Seattle like he left. If he comes in and starts and busts, then there's no hope for the team. But if he comes in off the bench, all right, and wins and starts solidifying that the offense can score points, because that was the issue with Fields. Even though they were 4-2, they couldn't score. Now, it's fair for one to say, yeah, but they kicked 6 field goals on, Sunday against the Ravens.
But you're playing one of the top defenses too. I mean,
from a run perspective,
yes.
not pass.
Yes.
I think they're last in the league in pass.
Yeah.
But to that point, with Wilson's ability to throw the ball down the field, it makes everything else very, very tough from a defensive schematic point, because Pittsburgh can run the football effectively, and Russ is good about not turning the ball over. I mean, he is. He's got a tremendous amount of experience. And that's what they needed. They didn't need somebody to go run around and do this and do that. They need somebody to take care of the football.
The reason he didn't work in Denver was because Sean Payton wants to run his offense.
Sure.
Tomlin is not that concerned with what the offensive is. He just wants you to protect the ball and be effective.
Because of defense.
That's correct. That's correct. So he needed a quarterback that could do that. See, I don't think Justin Fields will ever be his quarterback because he doesn't take care of the ball well enough.
Right.
I don't think he's a long-term answer. Let me give you a couple comments come in. Milton, good morning. Richie, good morning. Richie said, Mahomes looks to throw first when he's running and scrambling. He is still looking to throw the ball before he has to tuck it and run. If you watch him, he never takes his eyes off down the field, regardless of what he's doing.
He's a point guard.
Yeah, that's right. Distributor. Yeah.
That's not what you do. And, again, through 4 games this year, you go back the last 50 games. And you would not be able to tell the difference between Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott. Over 50 starts.
Yeah.
Until the first 4 games of this year. Mm-hmm. And people say, yeah, but you can't compare. Yes, you can. It's amazing that Patrick Mahomes is made out to be the NFL savior, but his stats are no better than the guy that they want to vilify. It's all when you look between the weeds and through the forest so you can see the trees, it's all about narrative. That's why you have to think for yourself, no matter what you're watching or doing, okay, and be able to come up with your own conclusions instead of what you're being told. How has that worked out for us the last 30 years in America, just following along what we're being told?
Yeah.
It hadn't worked out very well. It's the same thing in football. It's the same thing in all sports. As fans, it's great for us to get on here and we go, talk about things and able to bring good, arguments back and forth and stuff to think about. But at the end of the day, when you break things down, it comes to championships. That's why I think that Mahomes deserves the recognition, because he's been on the championship team and directed and guided those teams. But there is one reason and one reason only, and his name is Andy Reid. He is light years above everybody else.
And that's the whole thing.
Light years.
The difference is when you talk about and there is something to, even at the Steelers, even though it's not a top offense, there is a lot to the combination of the coach and what his philosophy is for the team.
Absolutely.
And the quarterback. And they have to work together.
I cannot be convinced that Patrick Mahomes could go to Dallas or go to Miami and win, but yet if you told me the same thing with Tom Brady, 8 years ago, I couldn't say, well, I'm not sure he won't win, because people want to talk about who the best is and is he going to pass Brady and all this. No.
But the thing about Brady, here's the thing about Brady and it's the same thing I think about Russell Wilson. You've got a quarterback and a coach that have an understanding of what we want to do and accomplish.
100%.
And it's not – Brady was not about padding Brady's numbers. No. Brady was about winning championships.
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes is the same way.
Right.
He gets his numbers, but not at the expense of giving up reaching that final goal of winning that championship.
Yeah, no matter what he's got to do.
That's correct.
And I think the creativity, it makes it fun to watch and all this. I guess my point is I just don't think that you could take Mahomes and put him at Seattle or put him with the Bears, and that in 2 years he'd be that he'd win a Super Bowl.
It's got to be the right coach.
Well, yeah, but also it has to do with what the player brings.
Right.
You take Michael. See, this is the difference between Brady and Jordan versus other players that are out there still today. Mm-hmm. You could take Brady and Michael Jordan, okay? Now people say, yeah, but he went to the Wizards. I'm not talking about that Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay? You can take them both and at any time insert them in another team, and all of a sudden they are serious, viable contenders for the NBA championship or an NFL Super Bowl. I just don't think you can do that with these other quarterbacks right now.
I agree.
And now I'm not downplaying Mahomes or anybody else. What I'm saying is I think they're still working to that level when the media is very quick to go ahead and give him that status.
Yeah, but all anybody's looking for media is to get clicks. Not honest analysis, but to get clicks. And that's okay.
And if you give an honest analysis like we're doing, then someone wants to come in and start slinging
and that's okay. That's okay.
And all that.
This is, like I've told you before, this is my opinion. I'm not asking anybody to believe my opinion or follow my opinion.
100%. I'm not talking about like the people that watch us or listen to us or whatever. I'm talking about other media personnel and personalities.
Yep.
Right? How much longer are we going to get it wrong on the star quarterback in college football? Every year it's a can't miss. I just don't see that with Caleb Williams. The jury's still out with Bryce Young.
I'm not sure the whole thing on and I'll say this. The Caleb Williams thing goes back to he is not in the right coaching situation.
I think it's him, and I'm gonna tell you
part of it is
I'm gonna tell you why. Earlier in the year, C.J. Stroud was trying to talk to him after the game, saying, "Hey man, you're doing a good job. Keep your head up. Stay positive." He's like, "Yeah, man. Okay, thanks. Yeah."
Right. it's because it's all about him. Yeah,
that's an issue.
Let me catch just a couple more comments came in. Richie, no. Richie said, should the Cowboys have put Trey Lance in last night? I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I don't think Dak is the long-term answer in Dallas currently the way they're structured. Milton said, Lamar ends every season bruised and banged. A wounded quarterback doesn't usually get you very far in the playoffs. And that's true. That's true. Andrew said, is Freddie Freeman one of those guys? Still sorry and butthurt at the Braves, but
hey, the dude's won 2.
when you take players that can go anywhere and elevate the rest of the team,
but he doesn't. This is it, okay? And we talk about the Navy SEAL chart. Mm-hmm. There's never an issue with can I trust you with my life. Mm-hmm. The issue comes in, and this is why Freeman is such a valuable asset and why they should never have let him go. Because it's not about can I trust you with my life. Because most people, you can say, yeah, but can I trust you with my money and my wife?
Yep.
Okay? That's the kind of people that you want in an organization, right? Mm-hmm. Because they take not only the life and death side of it very seriously, but also the living side and making it the very best possible situation to keep you that way.
Yeah.
All right, and make sure and protect you. That is the kind of people that you win championships with.
Yeah.
On a consistent basis.
I agree.
Right. Now, there's multiple personalities. No problem. People are who they are. But the reason the most successful organization in the world, the Navy SEALs, are such is because of those 3 criteria that they put out there as why. There's no secret on this. There's no secret on this.
No. It was – who said that a minute ago? Go back. Come on. This thing wants to be slow today for some reason. Richie said Caleb Williams also told the punter that he wasn't going to be needed as much in Chicago since he was now in Chicago.
Yeah.
And here's the game. Those guys don't – when you look at Patrick Mahomes, you'll find a guy that's never putting the spotlight on him. He's putting it on team. Do you know what he told Lamar at the end of the game?
Who?
What Patrick Mahomes?
Russell Wilson?
No, Patrick Mahomes said. Mahomes said, and I'm trying to think who they played this weekend. Mahomes said, "That's okay. We'll see you in a couple weeks."
Oh, it was Josh Allen.
Josh Allen with the Bills.
Yeah.
Another great game.
Yeah.
And it's true because Patrick Mahomes, he's got his eye on that apple. That's what he's looking for.
It's all about development.
And he's being honest. You know what I'm saying? He's not gloating. He's not pouting.
No.
He's taking it in stride and moving forward.
This is a great example. A few years ago, we were playing a team, high school locally, and they took the football and they got toe-to-toe and get a T backfield and just started moving the football down the field very slowly. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, yeah, the first thing you do for an adjustment is you get in there and you just start cutting linemen out.
Yeah. You
just get in there and cut them, and then they, all that stuff piles up and really can't go anywhere. But what I needed our kids to see as a defensive coordinator was, look, when it's time to, put your big boy pants on, you got to stand in there and play.
Yeah.
And what I want to do was prepare them for that while everybody else on the sideline was losing their mind. They're gashing us. They're doing this. They're getting. I'm like, no, wait a minute. If we're going to win a state championship or even have a chance to win one, we've got to be able to line up and take a little bit of a pounding and learn how to give it back. This is how you grow. You don't grow by immediately trying to be smarter than the other person,
right,
and fix something. That's not – you have to fix yourself more so than you do the situation, because when you fix yourself, the situation fixes itself, right? But and what happens is, and I see this, that's the difference between Andy Reid, Mahomes, that team, okay, Spagnuolo, all right, and everybody else. They're not out to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
They're out to win Super Bowls.
That's right.
How do we do that?
Yep.
How do we do it?
And that's the whole key. The whole key is what is your objective and what are you trying to accomplish? And I think, and I can't remember exactly how it was phrased. There are locker rooms that I've been in, that I've read about, that when you walk through the door, the first thing it says before you walk through the door is check your ego here.
Yeah.
Because if you can't give up the individualism, you can't be a team player. If it's all about individualism, you need to play golf. Yeah. You need to wrestle.
100%.
You need to play tennis.
100%.
You need to play individual sports.
Great points.
If you're not, weightlifting, if you're going to be a team player, you have to be able to check yourself and commit yourself
100%.
to the team.
100%.
Regardless of what the team gives you. That's 100%. The other side of it.
Completely agree.
Milton brings up a good point, too. Just to stir it up, Aaron Rodgers is done. And he's in a bad situation. And in my opinion, this is just me, I never, ever doubt what he's accomplished, what he is, what he has done. But I think the problem has become he can't check himself to be part of the team. When he came to New York, the first thing that they did was give him too much power. I need this guy, I need this guy, I need this guy. And then it didn't work. So then what do? I would have been, if I were Aaron Rodgers, this is what I need. I need a down the field receiver.
Sure. I
need a guy that can go across the middle.
Absolutely.
I need a tight end that I can dump to when things get bad, and I need a running game.
Well, and I agree.
But you're not naming people.
I agree with all that. And this is where the experience of someone like a Rodgers and a Brady and even a Mahomes at this point comes into play, because they understand the players in front of them, based on the offensive line that we have, based on the tight ends that we have, based on the running backs that we have. All right, what wide receivers? What do we need to do? All right, as a team, all right, and as an offensive unit to be able to get the ball down the field. What do we have to do to advance the football on a consistent basis? That is when you bring in and you collaborate based off of experiences, and then as the GM and the head coach and offense coordinator, you make the decision because you are the one that's supposed to be in charge. Okay, this whole thing about paying players $55 million for not doing anything or accomplishing—I say not doing anything. It's not fair. Not accomplishing championships. That all of this is madness. We got to stop the crazy.
Yeah,
this is crazy. We're playing people. Joe Burrow. I have no doubt he's a great quarterback. Okay, but we're paying people astronomical sums of money because the market dictates that, or it's being a little crazy. I don't know.
I have never been a fan of I've got to pay him because he's next man up. That don't get it with me. That don't get it with me.
Especially when they haven't won Super Bowls.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
That's where everything is. At the end of the day, winning games is great, and you can put that in your back pocket and you can take it to town. But in the end, nobody cares. It's all about the number of championships. All right, and what you've done to win that. Let me ask you this: what do you think people remember more? Somebody winning, like in high school, a conference championship or a state championship in that year?
Nope. You're correct. That's exactly right.
And can you win it every year? No, that's not what I'm saying. But
you want to be able to compete every year.
But on a consistent basis, when you keep refining your process,
right,
and upping the level of expectation, then you get a more consistent, more consistent tries at actually getting there.
Let me take a quick time out. We'll be back. Going to talk about a local product that's come home to play. More in a minute.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Sorry about the long break. Sometimes things happen.
Gotta love it.
Okay.
Love it.
I teased you there just a little bit before we went to break. And the reason, because I had a Facebook memory pop up from 3 years ago. There's a picture. There's a picture of me at the high school repping the Sports Talk Guys Comfort Color sweatshirt and my Clemson Tiger Paw orange boggin, or beanie, as Andrew likes to call them, with Caleb Farley. Caleb Farley has come home and been named to the 53-man roster of the Panthers. Now, I'm hoping, and we've talked about this before. I'm hoping that this is a really good move for him because he's basically playing in the NFL at home, and I think that makes a difference for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he likes being here. He likes being part of the community, and this gives him an opportunity to do that. So they have moved him to the 53-man roster. He was a first-round pick back in 2021, number 20. He was the number 22 pick. But had most of his time he's been injured. And if I'm looking at this correct, the last he's got 5 tackles, so he's been able to play a little bit. If he can just stay healthy, he had 4 solo tackles out of that 5 this year. So hopefully that's going to get him where he needs to be and get him being productive in a situation that works for him. I'm just hoping he's been away from the game long enough to really let the injury side of what he's had going on, be able to allow him to play at the level that he can play. When he was at Maiden, I was the first one to say, why did my wife post it? She can't watch me. Everybody else is watching me. I'm sorry. I'm just hoping that he can play because when he was at Maiden, he was a quarterback, but he wasn't a quarterback. He was an athlete. And he could make things happen from that quarterback position at that level.
I don't know, Lanny. I thought he was Paul. I talked to Paul Johnson, who was the head coach at Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I saw him, Andrew and I did. We had Harrison and Gary at Kay's Kitchen up there before it got destroyed, of course. And he was sitting there with his brother Jamie. And Jamie and I were friends up there, 25 years ago when I was up there, and saw Jamie and Paul was there. And we're talking or whatever, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Maiden, Caleb Farley." He said, "Golly," he said, "I think I was the only coach that wanted him for quarterback." He said, "Could you imagine him running the triple option?"
But that's all he would have been in college. You know what I'm saying?
I thought he could throw the football really well, and a lot of people didn't because they just focused on how well he ran the ball. But watching him on the sideline throwing fade routes and stop routes, he was incredibly accurate, and his arm was above average in strength. The one thing that just stood out is could he play college quarterback? Maybe. But the thing that stood out was he's either going to be a wide receiver or defensive back in the NFL. To your point, right? But I thought he was, dynamic enough and good enough, to have that opportunity, which, of course, they immediately didn't, they moved, like you said, they recognized that talent and moved him to where he was going to be most effective.
Right. And I think he's most effective on the defensive side of the ball.
100%. With him being a 6'3" corner and can run like
they
that.
They list him at 6'2", 197. That's what they list him at as far as ESPN on his bio. But, I just feel like he's getting moved over at a good time of the year. Mm-hmm. He's not going to cost a lot of money. And I think he's somebody that will stay that they can use.
We can depend on him.
Yeah, because got to get him healthy.
Yeah,
got to get him healthy.
On him.
Yeah.
He's been through so much, psychologically.
And Milton,
incredible.
I'll agree with that to a point. Milton said he got caught up in all the dysfunction at the Titans, different coaching staffs, all that type of thing. And I don't think that helped him from where he was personally, not athletically, but personally. And honestly, I'll be honest. I like I like the guy that. Well, when Vrabel was there, I like the guy at the Panthers now. I think he's a player's coach.
Oh well, yeah. I think he
a little young and raw.
I think you can relate with him, and he's got some good experiences. And if you're going to go to a dysfunctional program, which the Panthers have been,
right,
terribly,
right.
Yeah, it's better to go ahead and take a young person. I personally like the old person. I like the old guy. Just the older guy coming in. It's got a lot of life experience. But you know what? Sometimes, every situation's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you just fix so you feel like, Canales is who it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave.
And who you just feel like you can take the next chapter with. That's fine. Get on board with it or not, whatever. The one thing that still, though, that is, and I say irritating, it's not, because people have their own opinions, and that's fine. You believe what you want to believe, or come to a conclusion that you feel like you've thought about. But there was a lot of emotional posts about Bryce Young, and oh, he can't do this and he can't do that, and we need to put in the other guy because he's going to help us win games. They win a game, all right, and all of a sudden, see, I told you. No. The things that they've got to fix are on such a wide and broad scale.
Yeah.
And most of that hate from people
not just a couple Band-Aids,
because they don't like the team that kid came from in college.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely, or vice versa.
Prior
you love him so much
bias.
because of where he came from. Okay? And you have to look at things and take them for what they are. When the measurables are off the chart, character being one of them, you have a greater chance to be successful long term than you do a flash here or flash there, and then it dies off. That's why I'm saying I still think the jury's out on Bryce Young. I still think he has to have time to develop and come into his own and get out of the dysfunction. Lenny, I went and watched him, and I sat in the end zone where I could see everything from up high, okay? I watched the entire game. Slide protection's not good up front, all right? There is no run blocking at all. There's complete dysfunction. There is a lack of use of a tight end. Thielen is a very good football player, but he's a little older, and it takes a little longer to get that's okay. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you can't sit there and say, well, so-and-so aren't doing their job, but it's Bryce Young's fault. You can't do that.
Well,
the guy's running for his life. And anybody, all right, that sits out there and says, well, I don't want to hear anything else about Bryce Young, and he can't do it. Listen, two things. Number one, you've never played quarterback, and you don't understand what it's like for people to come at you like that.
Right.
Okay, bottom line, okay, opinion or not, that's where that is. And number two, you can't turn chicken – well, right. I'm just going to leave it at that, okay?
Right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with Bryce Young, and this is the mistake that most NFL teams make when they take a quarterback high in the draft. They feel the pressure – to immediately play. Bryce Young last year would have been so much more served and so much of a long-term commitment to the Panthers had they let him sit for a year and watch. Because here's the thing. He didn't develop anything last year.
What did Brady do? To your point, what did Brady do? He sat. What did Mahomes do? He sat.
Go back to Rodgers.
It's emotional immaturity by a bunch of people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s that are acting like friggin' 2-year-olds. Does that sound like a theme? Okay. How has that been working out? Not real well, and it ain't going to work out in a professional organization either.
A quarterback.
Grow up, be patient, develop, and win. Hey, that's the magic sauce. That's it. That's it.
Well, here's the deal. Milton says no quarterback can be successful with Panthers. They can, but they got to have a situation. I'll give you this, Milton. No quarterback can be successful with the Panthers as the Panthers are today.
Hey man, no, that's great.
Patrick Mahomes can't come in. Can't come in. I used to make some statements when the late Tom Brown was still alive that there was some high school programs that even he couldn't go resurrect.
Who, Coach Brown?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That dude's pretty.
Yeah,
no, I know what you mean.
But you're right to a point, Milton. But I'm still not convinced after watching First of all, here's the problem: Bryce Young didn't have a coach that was committed to what he could do into developing him. That was the first problem, because the problem was when they drafted Bryce Young, he did not have the support of the coach because that wasn't who the coach wanted. So right there, and I'll go back. Do you remember when John Fox was here and he bought Brian St. Pierre off the couch and started him the first week he came here because it was like, okay, this is what you wanted. Let me show you what I'm going to do. He was gone after that year. He was a lame duck coach. But, I mean, those are the things that doesn't benefit anybody.
No,
that benefit anybody.
That's the difference between emotion and passion.
Yeah.
When you are emotional, you, me, anybody else, we lose our focus on what's most important, and we're all about the moment. When we're passionate about something, our focus stays intact because we see the long-term goal, and we're going to be diligent in pursuit of that while understanding there's going to be peaks and valleys. There is none of that, none, very, very little of that in the limelight of the now. I got to have it now.
That's right.
And that is not sustainable long-term for success. There's three not even going to get into that. Number one, 13 core principles, desire. You have to have desire. When you have desire, you can implement the other 12, and it will run like clockwork as you are continuing to develop, okay? But you got to surround yourself with quality people first. OQP, only quality people. That's it. That's it.
There's nothing as complicated as the NFL is. There's nothing that I am one player away from being a success.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, everybody thinks that. Yeah, and you're right, Milton. That's what he was saying, the current Panthers. No offensive line, no pride in the current team. And here's the thing. I don't think there's many people on that team that really feel like they know what the future holds for them with that team.
None of them do.
I mean, I don't care who they are.
Let me tell you something. The structure starts at the very top, and I'm talking about with the head coach. When there's head coaching instability, which Bryce Young has had 3 head coaches in 2 years, okay? So while we're casting stones, for all our football gurus out there, okay, myself included, we need to keep those things in mind, that stability, all right, along with expectation can help. Once you set those things, then you can start progressing forward. When you have chaos and it ensues, people become incredibly emotional, quick fix here, this is all it takes, da-da-da-da-da, having a bad week in practice, and all of a sudden we have this rallying event, and then we're going to be okay.
Well, you go back to Jerry at the Cowboys. He thinks if I could throw enough money at it, I could build this team because I have all the answers. And it's not. All right, let me ask you this question. If and this was my opinion, okay, coming in, I thought Reich was the right coach because he had head coaching experience.
100%.
However, he didn't have the commitment from ownership to let him do what he was capable of doing.
And get the people that could follow in behind and he could lead forward.
My whole thing has always been, and this is one of those things where I'll walk away quicker than you know what, is when I am given responsibility for something, but I'm not given the authority to run it. That don't happen. That don't happen. I will do not. I'll walk away quickly because you can't ask me to be responsible for something that I can't make the decisions on.
Well, you have to be able to be an integral part of that at the highest level, right? And it's like being a head football coach, right? It doesn't matter what level. In high school, a lot of times you may or may not have an offense or defense coordinator because the head coach might be doing that, right? But the whole point of that is if you delegate those things, you are putting that responsibility into the hands, but you still make the critical decisions. We need to punt here, or let's go for it, or, hey, it's 2nd and 6, let's keep the ball on the ground and make third down manageable here. Those are all acceptable parts where if you are you're the head coach and I'm the coordinator and you tell me that, then I'm not like, well, let me run a team and let me run my offense. No, I'm like, got it. We're all working in the same direction. There's too much of, well, if you don't give me 100% of this, then how am I? That's not the way that works.
I had that.
And you weren't saying that, but I'm just making that clear so people understand.
I had that problem on the sideline at East Lincoln with the defensive coordinator when I was head coach at Highland. We did not agree. And it got heated on the sideline during the game.
Right.
And it came down on Monday morning. I sat down with the AD and said, you got a decision to make. Me or him. Don't care. But we ain't both going out on the field this afternoon. You decide. I'm good with either. He chose me.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Not the place to do it.
Yeah.
Either.
I just want to be very clear in what you were saying.
But when you go out what you're saying, I've always believed that I go out and I am trying to process the next play before the current play gets underway because you don't have enough time to think about it when that play gets here.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So when I make a call, if I call a play, I'm talking to my assistants. All right, let's think about what happens if. So we can go ahead and start making a plan.
100%.
In the same thing.
100%.
Now that's not to say that I won't make some stupid calls sometimes, because I have. I called a hot pass to a tight end on third down in the middle of the field, and the guy's up on the box. He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure. This is what we're going to run." And we ran it, and we completed. Now, it could have went south. I mean, it happens.
Did that one time, and it got picked for they ran back for a touchdown. I did it.
Well, I'll tell you one bad play. We wound
we
up.
Were, and I remember.
We
coaching at Madison.
We won, but we were at Catawba, Westminster Catawba down in South Carolina. That's private school.
Yep.
And it was the worst field I had ever been on in my life because it was in the bottoms beside a creek, and it was late in the season. No, it just got mushy. The water started rising up from the ground when it got cool. You know,
Holy cow, it didn't dry out.
Oh no, it was mush. It was mush.
It was basically creek mud.
We had a trick play. I had a 6'5", 240-pound tight end.
Oh yeah, NFL guy.
And he wanted to run the ball. We had a tight end reverse.
It's a great play.
I called it, and he fumbled.
Of course he did.
Never called it again, and I called it at the suggestion of one of my assistants. Be a good time to call this. I think you're right. Let's go with that.
Yeah, sure.
He never suggested another play. I didn't say anything to him because I had final say.
He probably felt so
I could
bad.
have said no.
Right.
But I didn't. Richie, good point. Dysfunction breeds dysfunction. I think Reich was a good coach and could have turned the Panthers around if he'd been able to control and get the players he needed. They call Reich captain check down. What plays should he be called with the roster that he was handed?
Yeah.
The problem was from the beginning he wasn't. And some people say, well, he wasn't that successful in Indianapolis. He had a dysfunctional owner there. I mean, they should have been more successful, but Irsay, look at the problems he's been in. So I just felt like he was a coach that had experience, and I felt like he could bring some stability to it. I was never a huge John Fox fan, but
I love John Fox.
I felt like that's because he's a defensive guy.
But I'm an offensive guy. I've just been coaching defense the last 7
Nah,
years.
it doesn't matter. No, that's where it comes from. No.
I like Fox because he had great hair.
The problem with Fox was I wasn't even on the sidelines, and I could make most of the calls he was going to make offensively.
Fox?
Yeah, because he was so predictable.
He didn't call offense.
Every play. Let me tell you what Marty Herney told me.
Well,
every play went through his headphone.
Yeah, but that's that. Of course, and I completely agree with that. But you've got to play in your sandbox. When's the last time John Fox was an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think John Fox developed too conservative a game plan.
He went to the Super Bowl.
I know. He did.
Now, and I'm not fussing at you. What I'm saying is he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay? And did they win? No. Let me repeat it. They went to the Super Bowl. The problem with that team was very evident. Very evident. And the one that gets the credit for getting them there is not the reason they were there. And you'll never convince me that he was.
And who are we talking about?
Cam Newton.
That was the second one.
I'm never convinced.
Jake Delhomme got him to the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was never a Delhomme fan, and definitely not a Steve Smith fan because he beat a teammate's eyes shut in the film room. Sorry, never getting over that. Okay, I'm not God. I can't forgive them and let them all go. Okay, it's not going to happen. I've met him. Yeah. I've been cordial to him, and he's. I think he's turned a lot of things around. Done a lot of good things. I just cannot get past that. I understand.
There's some.
He got in a fight. He got in a fight on the field during practice. I can go with that. I'm okay with that. I've had that.
Not in the what?
I've had that. Not in a film room.
Yeah. No.
God, come on.
No, you gotta. And
come on,
he
man.
Grown from that? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
But still, that's one of the unforgivables.
Yeah. Certain things you just can't. There's things that you get by with when you are in the heat of the moment. You can overlook certain things in the heat of the moment. Everybody tells you in the NFL or even college, but especially in the NFL, if there are not some fights during preseason, you're not going hard enough.
That's
because
why they
you get
scrimmage
tired
other
of
teams.
beating each other.
That's why they scrimmage other teams.
It starts to boil over. So
you've
got to have that.
So if I was an NFL coach, I'd try to find a team that we don't like at all that's not in our division.
Yeah.
That we absolutely have a problem with, and I'm like, all right, I'm taking my guys to you.
Well,
and
what
they're
they're
for 2 days, and
what they're doing
on.
now, and when they cut down took away one of the preseason games. Now they let those teams that you're going to play in the preseason, they let them come in. You scrimmage a couple days, before you play,
things are a little
and
more
everybody,
continuity.
and that way
Makes the game better to watch.
And it's not hard. It's not hard on the travel and all that kind of stuff too.
So, hey, it makes it a little better to watch when everybody's
still ain't
out
good
there.
to watch.
No, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, at least they got an idea instead of going out there and being like, "Now what?"
Yeah. All right, I've got to get out of here. You back here Thursday? I want to talk college Thursday. You're not?
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I am here Thursday.
Okay.
Yes, I apologize.
Thursday, we're going to talk some college football. We did NFL today, but had a lot on the plate, and just want to make sure we got it covered. Thanks for joining us. We'll try to be a little more faithful. I got studio improvements coming because I got crap setting everywhere. I just got to figure some things out, and biggest things, I just don't have enough daylight, and I'm old and I get tired. Other than that, have a great day. See you Thursday.